JJ Columbia back here for some more Brilliant Diamond. As with the last episode, this will be narrated in post, so apologies about that. But from where we left off, we started our adventure with Osir the Chimchar, and I'm actually not alone this time since I have my boy Gosuborikku, also known as D, joining me today. Okay, so for now, we're going to be continuing off with the more tutorial stuff. I'm going to have Dawn showing us the Pokemon Center and the Pokemon Mart. Pretty standard stuff, but I'm pretty sure you guys know about these already. Centers are for healing, marts are where you buy stuff, the usual things like that. Now there are a few things in the Pokemon Center that are used for multiplayer, like the Coliseum and the Union Room, which we will get into later on, but for now it's going to be to the side. We're not going to worry about that for right now. But also, I know since yeah, it'll come in later on. As for our special guest here, he is still shiny hunting Turtwig, unfortunately, but once he gets it, we will be showing off the Union Room, and we will do that later on, like I said. Speaking of which, how's that going? It's rough, but and end the game here as we make our way home. We can't forget to let Mom know that we're going on an adventure, because being 10 years old in this world means you're an adult who can make their own decisions and is an independent black woman who don't need no man. But what's crazy though is, even though you're old enough to go by yourself to around the world, you're not too old to be an errand boy. Wild. Also, we get our journal here, even though personally I've never really cared for or used the journal. It does help if you haven't played for a while, but honestly I never really used it, or never really paid attention to it. Yeah. And we get the parcel here to give to Barry from his mom, which again, errand boy. But it is what it is. You can't help that kind of stuff. I don't really know why I went back into the room here, but just to check out the PC, because there's always a potion in the PC in some of these older games, but I keep forgetting that it's not there in Diamond and Pearl. But as we set out, say again? Not having it makes me feel alone, scared. What are we gonna do with our worthless lives without that potion? And what I noticed about this game is since you start it without the hat, you get it now once your adventure truly begins, which is cool, I guess. What if I wanted to go with my hat off? What if I wanted to be free? Yeah. But as we leave town, we're gonna get a bit more experience here, just for GP. There's nothing really too dangerous at this point in the game, but it's always good to have more experience. You never really know what you can run into, or who you run into at any given time. Of course, like we said last time, the chances of running into a shiny are low, but never zero. Hey. Don't doubt yourself now. If I can fail, it's not even fail, if I can not get a shiny for several months, then you can get a shiny soon. Regice hates me. That Regice hates me, and I don't know why. And you can watch me get in live on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JJColumbia97. Hopefully I'll be streaming there again soon, but after I finish this game. And we're going to move on here up north to Route 202, where we have Dawn She's going to teach us how to catch a Pokemon, but of course, longtime players will already know this, but it does give us a chance to see the different trainer sprites and animations, as well as Turtwig, which neither I or the rival chose. But hopefully if you're watching Gosuborikku here, you'll actually get to see a shiny one in action. Soon. Hopefully. And if you can listen closely, you can hear him crying in the distance, crying in the distance in sadness and rage at not getting the shiny, which he will get. Oh my god. Like you said, man, it's coming. She has $10,000. Why does a 10-year-old have $10,000? I'm dead ass serious too. I know you can't see what the footage here that's recorded, but you can actually see the amount of money she has, and she has 10,000. Pays her by doing what? What does she do? What does she do? We could go down a whole rabbit hole with this, but let's just stop right now. Aside from that, we finally have Pokeballs, so I think it's time to finally add a new team member to the team, at least to help us for a short while. I already have a team in mind, but it's gonna form a bit later on. But for now, let's look around for a while until we find it. And so then, what are your thoughts on the game, D? Even though you've only been to Lake Verity for now, getting your starter, from what you've seen, what's your opinion on the game? Oh dear lord. I've seen that. I've seen somebody save in the Snow Point City gym, in that little crater in the center, and they restarted the game and those snowballs came back and they couldn't move. I mean, with Game Freak and Pokemon Company how it is now, there's gonna let some quality slip through the cracks. No game is perfect, but it is what it is. We have to take it what it is. Hopefully they'll patch it.
Hopefully. This is all different franchises.
I mean, I personally don't play Call of Duty. I personally don't play COD, so I can't really speak on this. But based on what I've seen from gameplay and from another fellow streamer of ours, EternXL7, also named James, it's not that the Call of Duty really gets truly bad, I want to say, but there is like a drop in quality in terms of it doesn't really seem like a casual game anymore, if that makes any sense. Yeah. For sure. From what the viewers are watching right now, you're going to see me catch a Budew. This is not the member of my team. However, I am catching it for GP just because it's useful for stuff like HMs. And I know HMs are no longer really like big in this game because I know it's a separate thing now. However, it is good to have some backup as well, just in case anything dangerous happens to my team or if I need a sacrifice. It sounds messed up, but it is useful. I may have a black hole for a heart, but it's not that way. Get your mind out of the gutters.
Keep sacrificing.
Stop. No sacrifices here. We're not gonna need it. We're not gonna need it. But heading back to the Pokemon. Sorry, what were you saying? Nope. Moving on. Heading back to the Pokemon Center to heal here, I can finally show off the second floor, which is the Union Room and Coliseum. Like I said, we will not be doing much here right now, but D and I will be using these later down the road when he gets his team settled out, when he gets his shiny, and we will for sure show it off because we do have a trade planned out. I'm not gonna say what it is for though. I do also head over to the mart over here because I wanted to show it off, and I was also wondering if we would be able to change clothes here because I know there is trainer customization, but that wasn't the case, and I ended up surprised to see that, just like Dawn, instead of us having 3,000 Pokédollars like in the original games, we get spoiled and we start with 8,000. So we have a ton of money, 20 Pokeballs to start with, and at least 10 if you talk to that mart worker at the beginning of the game. We get spoiled. And you know what? I'm not complaining. Money is money, and we're gonna need the money. Especially have a rough time at the start, but you shouldn't really have a rough time. The beginning part of the game is pretty simple. It's not until later on that things get a little bit serious. So with everything done in Sandgem Town, I head back up north here to find my next team member, which is not the next encounter. It's not going to be a Starly, no matter how popular it is. It's not my next team member because I wanted to go with something different. So if it's not Budew and it's not Starly, it can only be two of the Pokemon here. What's weird though, for some reason it took me a long time to find it, even though it's supposed to be a common encounter. So I did decide to cut it here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. But my next Pokemon is Kricketot. Now everyone knows Kricketot. Kricketune their cry is basically a meme at this point, and the Pokemon itself is mediocre at best. But I figured I'd go with it just to have a bit more challenge for this playthrough, and so I can talk English, I swear. I wanted to use it so I can have a bit of variety and some challenge in this playthrough. I might not keep it for my final team, but I wanted to use Pokemon that I personally like, so I wanted to end up going with it. D, what are your thoughts on Kricketune? Fair. As for a name, I wanted to go with something that fits its musical theme, so I decided to go with the name Maestro. Which I personally, when I thought of a name for it, it wasn't something that came to mind immediately, so I did have to do a bit of digging. But I remembered a show I used to watch with my mom as a kid, which was a Spanish singing show, and I just thought the name, and I thought the announcer saying Musica Maestro in a really fancy voice just caught my attention, so I gave it that name. But however, when I saw that this Kricketot's nature is bold, I thought that it wasn't really worth using. It's not unusable, but I wanted to make its moveset physically oriented, and a bold nature would not really help that. So I decided to end up boxing this one, later on at least, and go with another one. But with the nickname, I wanted to give it being a sort of sentimental nickname. What kind of nicknames do you guys name your Pokemon? And for I can talk English. I can speak. For my buddy Gosuborikku here, what do you name your Pokemon if you give him a sentimental nickname? Is that a reference to something? I feel like it is, but I forgot what it was. Right. That's why. I feel like you told me that. You definitely told me that before, but I forgot the context of it. So thanks for reminding me. And as you can see here, we do have another Cricketune now, which I did capture. Same nickname as per usual. And I was hoping that this one has a better nature than before, since Bold isn't really a good one, like I said. An ideal one will probably be around Jolly or Adamant, but with a Pokemon like Cricketune, it's not gonna really be exceptional since it's mediocre, like I said. But thankfully, this one is Brave. Brave isn't really the best because it ups its attack and lowers its speed, which already wasn't that good. So, after a little bit of thinking, I decided to go with it. But aside from that, now that we have our second team member, we can finally keep moving forward. I did want to get a bit of experience on Cricketop, so I planned on switch training it a little bit as we could move forward with wild encounters. However, I completely forgot that in this game, the experience share has been changed from the original, and switch training has pretty much become irrelevant. So yeah, grinding is pretty much a thing of the past. Somewhat. Too bad grinding is going to be necessary for this game, especially considering the end game. Because that's going to be something. If you can listen closely, you can hear our PTSD from the piano. We do not speak on the piano. No, since I do have the second team member in my game here now, what do you have planned for your own team when you finally get that Turtwig? They're both good physical attack and flying types. I believe Starly still gets wing attack early on, so it's a really good early flying type. And Crobat, at least Zubat, is hard to use at first because it's weak, really weak at first, until you get around to learning Bite. Both are good, but I think it really depends on what you plan to use alongside them. Yeah, I mean, I have considered Electivire, but spoiler alert, it's not going to be part of my final team. If you want though, I can trade you so you can get the Magmortar, but I don't know when exactly you would get it. If it's in the regional Pokédex, then you can probably get it alongside Magmar, but it's going to be a rare find. In the event that it is actually not part of the regional Pokédex until you get either to post-game or to like the underground or something like that, what do you plan to do for a fire type? Yeah, because in the original Diamond and Pearl, since you're not choosing Chimchar, your only other option is Rapidash. That's the only other fire type in the entire game. So it is a matter of both of us playing onward to see what's going to be an option for a fire type. If not, you might have to look for something else. But we'll see what happens. I mean, if it is only those two options, though, I don't think it's gonna be. It's not the end of the world if you can't get one. But, well, again, like I keep saying, we'll see what we can do about that. And it's not really a stressful moment if you can't find a fire type, since there are other coverage options. Plus, Fire Blast is a TM. Coming up onto our first trainer battle here. Trainer battles are a bit different from wild encounters. They have a bit more of difficulty to them. These trainers specifically aren't too difficult, but you do have to have the potion ready just in case you get that random critical hit. You do get a bit more experience with them because they are owned by another trainer, but at this point, like I said, it should not be too difficult. Your starter should be more than enough to handle them. Turtwig will probably not have a good stab move. It does get leafage, which is but against a Starly it wouldn't be really too good. But again, you should have more than enough bulk and firepower to be fine. Something like Impish is, even if you get something, I wouldn't say bad, like modest, you do have options for like Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, so it's not bad. It should, yeah, but I don't think you get Energy Ball until like for like a TM. But I think there are TM salesmen. Only problem is your Earthquakes are not going to be hitting as hard as they could, but there are workarounds to it, I'm sure. Yeah. Plus it does get Leech Seed, which is... it's that kind of move where it's just, you can't go wrong with it no matter what. Unless you're the one getting hit by it. But when we do battle, because that is definitely going to happen, you're not going to get the chance to. You're gonna curse, you're gonna get flare blitzed, GG. I will say though that Turtwig getting Leafage instead of Absorb, we've gone over this. It's a weird choice. I kinda get why, but I don't think it really matters in the long term. But it's a weird thing. It's a weird change to make. I mean, in fairness, if we were to do a cage lock for this game, by the time we get past Rourke, I would have a bug type, Amon that double resists your attacks, and a starter with Power Up Punch. Because for some reason, they gave Chimchar at level 12 Power Up Punch, an egg move that boosts its attack every usage. I will say this though as well. Actually, now that I think about it, they did screw over Chimchar a bit, not Chimchar, Turtwig a bit more than usual now, because obviously, they gave Chimchar the best move out of the three. They gave Piplup Charm, which is also really good, and Charm also affects Leafage to make it hit not as hard. So Turtwig really got the short end of the stick here. Chimchar was still probably the best out of the three. Let's be honest here. Yeah. For sure. And when it comes to Empoleon, I feel like out of the three, it's the one people talk about the least, maybe. But again, when you have those three choices, they're all good. And Empoleon is still, even though it's middle of the road, it's not bad by any means at all. Like, even though, like, in terms of competitive battling, there's not too many options you can do with it, but what it does, it serves its purpose well enough. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's like average or below average. It's good. It's not the best, but it does what it needs to do. It's reliable. That's the word, it's reliable. I was gonna say something really stupid, but let me not. It's not the time for it, and it's not the place for it. But with that, all the trainers here are taken care of. So we're gonna move on a little bit more. There are still a few more items on the route that we can get, but we're moving along just fine. Like I said, no trouble at all. It is good to go back and heal in case you need it, but again, you do have potions just in case. But I just like to heal just in case I might need those potions for tougher battles later on. At first, you might be a little bit surprised having paralyzed heals and antidotes available to you in the marts. However, as I found out later on, it actually is useful to have them, because even though they're not very common, paralysis can happen to you, especially with an encounter later on that I will place focus on. One thing that also caught my interest with Shinx, they gave it Thunder Shock early on, which is good for stab, but it actually caught me off guard because in the old games they gave it Charge first instead of any kind of electric move, and even then you wouldn't get any kind of same type of attack bonus on it until like around it, either before or after it evolved, which is not too late, but probably around after the first gym. And speaking of, did you ever consider using Shinx D? I considered it for a while, but I decided to skip it. You use a Luxray? What is your opinion on it? In general, competitive, battling, design, all together. You know me when it comes to community on Pogo. I can never get a shiny when I want to, but on community days, I get too many. As for me, when it comes to Luxray as a whole, I kind of disagree with you when it says it could hit harder. It does get Guts as a hidden ability, and Guts Flame Orb with stuff like Superpower, Wild Charge, Crunch, etc. They can be deadly. The major problem with Luxray is that it's a bit too slow, which is odd because when looking at it, you think it's fast, and obviously it does hit hard, but it doesn't really have enough speed to go with it. And I honestly think they should have made Luxray Electric Dark. It gives it more weaknesses, but I think it fits its style more. Plus it would give stuff like Crunch and Night Slash same type attack bonus. And Foul Play. I don't think it gets Foul Play though.
I don't think it's just a Foul Play.
It would be a good move for it actually, now that I think about it. But here we have Dawn letting us know that we can learn a few more things at the trainer school, though we really don't need the help because we've been playing the series for a long time now. But before we do that, there is actually something I wanted to do first. And you were saying something, D? Yep. School? What's that? I graduated. Dude, I'm still in school too. College. I was wanting to see the Jubilife TV station was available, but unfortunately it's not at this point. I think it unlocks after the next gym. But here, on Route 204, is what I was waiting for. There is actually a Pokemon I wanted to catch here that I will be keeping for the rest of the game permanently on my team. It's one that I'm sure a lot of you used as well, and if D didn't choose Turtwig, I'm pretty sure he would have picked it too. What baffles me though, is that for some reason, even though this Pokemon is supposed to have an encounter rate of 20% on this route, no matter what time of day it is, maybe I think a higher one during the morning and daytime, it's supposed to have around 20% chance here at night. But I had to actually cut ahead in this footage you're watching because it took me around, like, what, 10-20 minutes before I found it? Yeah, I don't know why it took so long with an apparently high encounter rate, but I did cut ahead, and here it is, Budew. Budew is going to be my next team member. Now, if you're also planning to catch it, you do have to keep in mind that it is considered a baby Pokemon, so its stats are low, so you have to be careful with how you want to weaken it. But if you do raise it well and be careful with it, you can get a really strong Roserade out from it in the end. I also did mention it, but D, if you didn't choose Turtwig, would you wind up picking Roserade? If you had space for it. So I'm pretty sure it's only like a 12 letter spacing. I feel like if you caught a male, if you caught a male Budew, you could have named the Joker. Second best Joker ever. But with it being caught, it's added to the team. And thankfully, actually no, I think I have to go over its nickname first. The nickname I ended up giving it may be a bit generic, but ultimately I decided to name it Rosemary. And the reason why is because it's simple, and as a name it does fit the kind of Pokemon Roserade ends up being. I do know that roses and rosemary are technically two different plants, but I believe it does end up fitting.
Yeah, it does. In my opinion, it does.
Unlike the name of Maestro, the cricket's hot, there's no sentimental value to it. I just thought the name fit. That's a stupid reason, but it's the only one I have. Thankfully though, yeah, personal preference. Thankfully when it came to Rosemary's nature, it was bold, which also is not the best since timid or modest probably be ideal, but bold can help it live attacks more often, and it does end up being a good help for it. Again, not ideal, but it works. Plus, Budew also comes packing 4 moves already right out of the gate, and it also knows Stun Spore, which is a really good move at this point, which is why you also want to pack Paralyze Heals just in case. And yeah, for some reason they decided to give it a full moveset right from the get-go at level 1, which again is weird to me since it does miss out on a few good moves, but it does end up learning them as a Roselia when it evolves. My only issue is that it can potentially miss out on stuff like Mega Drain and Leech Seed, which could end up helping it survive battles by doing more damage, and having a stalling move to just potentially drain HP every turn. But hey, I can't complain. It's a baby Pokemon. What are you gonna expect? Not every Pokemon can be like Budew, where it is God. Budew. But with that done, it was a good idea for me to go heal for now, since there are a few more things that can be done here in Jubilife. But for the time being, however, I decided to skip that for now, not because it's going to be something that's not important, but I wanted to do it later on, solely because I want to show it off in the next episode, since we are coming up in a bit of time here. One thing I will show off though is the next route to the west, which is Route 118. There isn't actually much you can do there for the time being, but I did want to see if there's any changes coming to the route, because I know there's an item there I want to get. Nothing really important on the route itself. But hey, it's good to see if anything that's changed, which something did change. This girl here that's on the pier was not here in the original game, so I was confused of what she would be there for. But I thought that there would be some kind of change later on, where we might get a special item by talking to another NPC after talking to her. But like I said, I'm not sure what this change does, if anything at all. Because normally in the original games there will be an antidote over there. But with nothing else to do, I headed back into the gate. And if you talk to the fisherman here, you can actually get an old rod. The old rod isn't really something that's too useful of an item normally, since the only thing you can get from it is a Pokemon Magikarp, which isn't too strong, but it can be a monster later on, especially with the new experience share and how it gives every team member experience. And having a Gyarados, I wouldn't say after the second gym or around the second gym, can be a major help, not just for gym leaders, but for other trainers that are important in that area, and for the rest of the game. Got anything else to add, Diego? She really got ghosted. All around me are familiar Wingo. That was terrible. I promise I'll never sing like that again. What'd you say? Oh god. But hey, with this Magikarp I am battling here, I did not just ignore that. It's a pretty easy KO for something like for Budew. A little bit of experience for it, not much, but it also does help with the friendship, which is how Budew evolves. It is good to raise friendship as much as possible early on, just so you won't have to worry about it later. But we did a fair bit of work today, so thank you again for coming out. And I think we're gonna save everything else that's gonna be in Jubilife for the next episode. And I'll see you next time.